Finally, they're on wilder than I thought.
Yeah, no kidding.
And so
We didn't get a pen.
they were onto us. That's the eighth one we went into steel. We're down the sand dunes and stuff. They were too. They were like, we're gonna catch them. And it was 15 of us, I mean,
Things going on, so. What we have here are approval of the minutes from last Monday. Let's see where those went. It's kind of like set up in a weird way. I don't have my reacher to have to hand it to Aaron, so. You know, we don't even have the minutes printed out. Yes, we do. Behind everything. Okay. All good with them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she made the changes that I had
Yeah,
seen earlier.
it's on the back of that, and then that's attached from our. Kind of like this, not having to be throwing them at you. We'll do our bills. Also, our warrant is pretty small. Haven't seen this in a while, $25,216.74. Water, Eco Maine, Bureau of Motor Vehicles. Looks good. I've had a chance to go through it. Are you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
that's good. And the Budget Committee did meet today. And we haven't had a chance to catch up with them at all. Going to start with our discussion items. This meeting was scheduled to have a discussion on the cannabis facility licensing applications. We have 3 of them. I will just bring up one that we received last week. The first one would be for Silver Therapeutics. And do we have anything that we want to?
So for Silver Therapeutics, they had submitted, let's see,
I have it in soon.
make sure I got the right one.
I was gonna say,
So we
get it.
received notification from Drummond Woodsum in regards to a request for recusal. They are requesting for me to recuse myself based on a advertisement that was placed when I was running for Selectboard that was paid for. They requested my recusal from their application and another application. I don't see any reason for me to recuse myself. And after speaking with Cam, he suggested that we either continue forward or wait until David comes back and you and him can vote. So, sort of, I guess, leave that in your hands as to how we want to kind of move forward with this. But I don't have any conflict. I have no ownership stake with 04047 or with Silver Therapeutics or with Rejuvenate for that matter. I don't have any, a group of local businesses got together and paid for a advertisement supporting my candidacy. And, I don't see any bias there, but again, that's my opinion, but.
So are you recusing yourself?
I don't feel I need to. I mean, if you think otherwise, we can certainly table and wait to talk to David but I don't,
I think we are going to table this.
What they have asked for is a voluntary recusal, which it sounds like he is saying he does not want to. They haven't asked for a mandatory recusal. They haven't
Right.
asked for a
Right.
vote.
This is coming from you. This is coming from you. It's not mandatory. You're right.
Right.
So you're,
if I had an ownership stake, I think it's 10% or more ownership stake.
yep,
There are legal requirements for recusal. But so this falls under, the,
Well,
what
for
is
the-
it? The appearance of impropriety, I believe
Right.
is what the level is it calls for.
So for the sake of the town, for the sake of impropriety, for what you've been thinking about or given, that we'll table this. I can't see that I can vote on it by myself. If I make a motion to table it till next Monday.
I don't believe it requires a vote. Because all it's gonna ask is for him to voluntarily do this. They haven't asked for a vote.
If he's,
Well, she's saying in order to act on the
I
application.
cannot review it myself and make any, I can't make
Right.
by
If
myself.
he doesn't recuse himself, then they're the two of you and you have a quorum.
Right, you need to recuse yourself.
No, but he says he doesn't want to.
You guys can still table it. I mean,
Right.
it's you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel the need to recuse myself, but if you want to discuss with David and go through the process that way, you guys can certainly, do that, but
And if that happens, and sorry, Trevor, but you were on that ad as well.
Yeah.
So it also applies.
Correct. It applies, it concerns all three.
My opinion doesn't apply at all, so.
Right, and to,
Let's
it was
move- let's move
$100 that they gave to an ad along with other business.
I
Right,
do-
but we've received emails, lots of them. And so now it's coming down to me saying, let's table it to Monday.
well, it's a comfort level. If you don't want to move forward with just the two of us and you have concerns over me acting on these applications, then we can discuss it next week when David's back. But
I'm going to table it. I'm gonna make a motion that we table this till Monday.
comfortable with that, I'll second.
Okay. In favor?
Yep.
So we're done.
I think this carries through then to all three applications. An
Correct.
application from Silver Therapeutics, and we have an
So
application.
Silver Therapeutics would have been the first one. Who would
Yeah.
have been the second one? I
Right.
believe it was Trevor,
Yep, I have to,
based on the timestamp.
yep. And then Procure. So this would apply to all three applications that I'm saying that we table the application from all three cannabis applicants to next Monday. I'll make a motion to table that.
I'll second
All
that for
three
you.
applications still.
Thank you.
You second that. All in favor, then we're all in favor.
So this same thing's gonna happen next Monday? Like what we're doing right now?
Well, we'll have.
You guys gonna have a discussion?
We'll have a discussion, the process will be, we'll have to vote, they'll have a discussion on whether or not I can continue to vote on them, and then at that point, then they'd have a quorum, whether
They'd have a
they
quorum
vote
whether you
positively or
vote, right.
negatively, they'd have a quorum, they'd be able to act on the application. So, yeah,
What's that? Later.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
moving on down the agenda, we have a budget committee appointment to make, and that would be for Todd Crooker, who expressed interest in the budget committee to replace someone who resigned from the committee. Make a motion that we accept Todd Crooker for a position on this little budget committee.
When's that term ends town meeting next year?
He will finish out her term, so annual town meeting of 2026.
Okay.
Yes,
Second.
all in favor. Okay. We can sign that.
Yeah, I'll take that and he can get sworn in.
Okay.
This week. So, you go forward.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, he said he would stop back in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Technology purchases, is this what you?
This is, yeah, so I got looking at our available budget for the technology budget, so the computer expenses. We had a budget, so this is combines 3 accounts. So across those 3 accounts, we have a combined budget of $22,390. We have expended $18,959.99, leaving us with a balance of $3,430 and a penny. Talked to Chris, our IT.
Chris Sanborn,
Chris?
yep.
Yep, talked to him about what would make the most sense in replacing and what PCs needed to be replaced first. He recommended replacing the 2 clerk counter PCs. Now that we are on Trio Web, he said they don't need to be the host anymore, so we would be able to replace them with all-in-one PCs. Took a look at a couple different options. There are, and based on his recommendation, there's 2 all-in-one computers would be $2,299.98. These are Amazon prices on Amazon. We also looked at a laptop dock, $199.99. In part of the computer moves, Danielle's PC would be replaced with a laptop, which would make it so that, she could take minutes and do things during the town meeting, things like that, make it a little bit more mobile for her, have something that she can take home as well. And then clerk's office also requested upgrading their title printer. So their printer that they use for titles, it's
Oh, yeah.
quite old. And so I had Renee reach out on the clerk serve and ask, has anybody replaced their title printer in the last few years? And we got not only a recommendation for it's an Epson LX 350, but also the exact settings that they will need to do that. So it not only would be replacing it with a brand new printer, but also we know how to make it do, out of the box, do what they need it to do. So that printer would be $231, and then because it's a dot printer, it uses ribbons instead of ink. And so you can get 12 ribbons for $54.89. So that all falls within the remaining budget. I think we should spend it in order to make those upgrades, and that's, be a big save for our budget next year in terms, we've already budgeted for it, the money's there. And so I would recommend that we make those purchases. Again, that was 2 all-in-one computers for $2299.98, a laptop dock for $199.99, an Epson LX 350 for $231, and a package of printer ribbons for $55.
How long do those printer ribbons last?
It's just title printing, so we don't use that.
don't use it
for
that
any other
often.
reason other than printing titles.
Yeah.
So quite a long time.
Sounds like it.
And it's got a significantly smaller footprint it's smaller than this laptop.
Oh, wow.
And the one in there is like a typewriter. So
Mac counter computers are extremely
Yeah.
old. Yeah,
Yeah.
much faster would be great.
Well, I'll make a motion that we spend the technology budget on the aforementioned computers and title printer
Second,
and ribbon.
and ribbon.
All in favor? Okay.
Perfect. I'll send that list. Daniel, you want me to send that to you? It's all Amazon
Yeah,
links. Okay.
that'd be great.
Yep, I've got the links ready to go, so I'll send it over to you.
Excellent.
Nice, nice. Under reports, what I should have mentioned also is that we got the code enforcement report for the month of May. Sheds, campers, some docks, 3 new dwellings. One of those is a motorhome, mobile home, so.
Yep.
2 houses. Total number of plumbing permits given out were 8, and that's for the month of May. I'll give you that if you,
I've got one.
oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
You might be able to give us a total number of new dwellings for the year, so we can include that in our town report.
Oh,
Should be able to.
absolutely should be able to, yeah,
We need to see how Parsons Field's growing, and
yeah.
we was talking about looking at a.
Consider growth caps, consider,
Yeah.
yep,
Yep.
Nice to know that number.
targeted growth caps.
Yeah, I think with
Yeah.
this report, we'll have every report for the last year, so we should have them all.
Okay,
Yeah,
we can compare that with the receipts. so-
Yep.
Yeah. That would be good. Something that we received last week that we need to discuss is a contract from Mechanical Services. Those are the folks that do our yearly HVAC cleaning. They get up in the attic and clean out the pipes and the filters. They spell out what it is they do. This contract is good for July 1st. Oh, isn't that funny? Contract period, July 1st of '24 to, they must have put the wrong date on it, to June 30th of '25. So this, it should be,
Oh, they
yeah, it should be
changed the
for
date
next year, right?
from last year.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't think we'll sign this one with that date on it. The total expense is, it's a proposal and a contract. For $1,990. Invoiced after completion of the annual service visit.
So that includes servicing of the boiler?
Well, that's the thing, if we're looking at a new heating system,
Right.
the contracts that we've opened, do they include servicing? The 2
No.
heating, they don't?
No.
No,
I mean, I'm just sure if we asked them, they would give us a quote for that.
for that, right.
But
Well, these people don't know what we're looking at for new heating
right.
system. And I don't know if that would change what they do. But what does next Monday bring us when we talk to the two bids? That's June 16th. We can still we can ask them about this, about what they do for cleaning and.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can ask them, and then maybe in between times, we can call Mechanical Services and say that we're looking at changing out our heating system and having
Right.
this effect.
Yeah, I mean, that would
Yep.
certainly affect the service.
Right.
Because they wouldn't have to service the boiler.
The old boiler, right, but would they be able to do whatever it is we get for the new one, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And we can certainly look at this point next year.
Although I think JP Carroll they service the boiler. JP Carroll did,
Okay.
yeah, these guys did, like HVAC, and like looking at the vents and stuff in the attic and climbing all over the place. I know JP Carroll, I believe, came
Yeah.
in, didn't they, to take care of the boiler? I think we should figure out first what they will do with new heating system.
Yeah, I'd want to look that over just to understand better, I guess, what they're doing if they're not doing the boiler that's costing $2,000. Like if they're just are they just doing the registers?
Motors, pumps, fans,
I think
couplings.
Last time they undid all of these heating units
Right.
and cleaned them.
Okay.
Yep, heating equipment, motors, bearings defective, inoperative, will be tested, adjusted for maximum efficiency. It says safety devices, motors, pumps, fans, couplings, seals, mounts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did they have like a date we had to get back to them?
Well, I guess if it ends the end of June,
Well, I mean, that's the first thing is that the
Right.
date's wrong, but
right. So before July 1st, contract period. July 1st of 2025. So if we meet next week in workshop with the other bids, and
Yep.
I think David has always handled these guys, Mechanical Services,
Okay.
we can make that part of our workshop.
Yeah.
To discuss it.
Yeah, we can find out.
Yep.
Yeah.
If we should move forward with
Because
that.
it doesn't sound like what they're offering will change then.
Right.
Because that part is not being changed. It's
Right.
just the heating part of it will be changed. Okay. Yeah. So I think
All
we
right.
should table that for
Table that for Monday too?
Monday.
It's a tabling kind of day. Tabled. Something else that we received last week from our tax assessors is the tax ratio for next year. It is a number that homestead exemptions and I believe veterans exemptions are based on according to valuation of properties. Last year's was 65% and this year's is going to be 65% as well. So it does affect the town on the monies we get from the state.
yeah.
Once we get reevaluated, that number should come up. 65 is,
Yeah, that number will definitely come up when we
Yeah.
get the reevaluation with the new assessors, the contract we've already signed.
The budget committee did ask that question when the reval was gonna be done, and I didn't.
Yeah, so it's two parts. So next, the new assessors will start October or November 1st. I can't remember which it is. But they'll start then. They'll take care of the rest of this year. They're gonna do an evaluation starting next tax year to get everybody right size. So kind of a general, just move the percentage up for everyone.
So that's gonna be a town-wide reval.
Yep. And then the year after that is when they're gonna do basically the whole town, reevaluate the whole town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's sort of a two-step
Two-step.
process. The first year gets us closer to compliance.
Yep,
The second year gets us
fully.
valued.
Okay.
Yep.
the other thing that, if anybody has any suggestions for who they might want to nominate for the Spirit of America Award for 25, I think we have until the end of June. This is something we've done in the past, and you can nominate a person, you can nominate a group for somebody who's, exemplifies community spirit and does a lot of volunteering within the community itself. I've had a few thoughts myself. I know the 21 Club does a lot of good stuff for the community. And if anyone else has anybody they'd like us to consider or nominate, that we'd love to hear from you.
So we would need those nominations by the 23rd in order to
Make it.
make it, because we have our meeting on the 30th would be too late.
Is that information you wanna roll out on our postings, or?
Sure.
Okay.
Looking for Spirit of America nominations. I think the last one we did was Wes Stacy.
And just to email the select board with nominations?
Yeah.
Yep.
That'd be great. And lastly, now that our school budget vote is over, the town has an assessment of $2,241,791.52. That's an increase of close to $120,000 over what we had last year, the 24-25. And people have probably already seen it on the website, but the budget passed by one vote for the town of Parsonsfield. We are assessed at the highest value and also had, the highest increase in any of the SAD 55 towns. And it's based on land valuation and it comes from the state. Has nothing to do with the numbers of kids that we have in the school, but it has everything to do with what our land is valued at. And, yep, that's a lot. Oh, boy. Updates for the town of Parsonsfield, we are not going to do the June 19th food pantry. It falls on Juneteenth and the town hall will be closed. And we're not open on Friday. So the Youthful Maine Food Pantry said they will also take a break from delivering food on that day out here. However, there is a food pantry in Alfred called the York County Food Pantry. It's new. It used to be the Alfred Food Pantry, but now it's called First County Food Pantry, sponsored under York County, and it is open on Tuesdays and Fridays from noon to 3. And according to the article that Youthful Maine sent me, anyone can attend. So if anybody is in need and can't come to the June 19th, or we won't have it, feel free to go to the one in Alfred. And we can put something on the website.
I was gonna say, do you want to send me the details? And
Yeah.
I'll post like a news article on the website?
Yep, I'll just send you this whole thing right
Yeah.
there. That'd be great.
Yep.
I just received today the final confirmation and the final contract for our community action grant. I have not had a chance this afternoon to even open it up and look at it. But I'll have more details on Monday about that. And Wednesday, I'm attending the Southern Maine Planning and Development Commission's yearly meeting. It's a dinner plus a budget workshop. And it has to do, they're going to present a program on resilience, community resilience. I think that's the buzzword for the year. Everybody seems to be doing it. So I think that is all I have to say for updates.
Okay. I did not have a lot. I'm working with the Recreation Committee on when to do their meeting because they also had their meeting scheduled for Juneteenth.
Oh, okay.
So looking to get that rescheduled. So we'll update that on the calendar once we get an updated date. But yeah, we had Harvey had reached out that was the day, and then we realized that we could not do it that day. Yeah, I think that's all I had.
Let's see. So next Monday, we have our 2 heating bids in for a workshop to ask them a little bit more about what their bids entail. It looks like next Monday, we also have the solid waste and recycling collection bids opening up.
Yep, we'll open those during the meeting.
Okay, and then, so this Saturday, isn't it Saturday that, wait a minute, no, it's Friday. Friday the 13th is bulky waste pickup, this Friday.
Yep.
And then the following, not the following, but the Friday after that is white goods pickup. So,
And the flyer for bulky waste is under news and announcements on the website. So if you've got any questions on whether your items qualify, the flyer with all the information on there is on there. And I think Daniel's also posted it to the Facebook site, so it's on there as well. Large furniture, that kind of stuff. Not windows and construction materials. Overstuffed chairs are good. Large plastic items,
tarps,
boat covers,
old pools.
pallet bags, area rugs, box springs, styrofoam floats, other combustible materials.
Excellent.
Well, there.
Yeah. Mr. Wright, we haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, yeah. Anything you'd like to say or?
Just a couple of things. Daniel mentioned about new houses, a list for 2025. Is it possible that we get a list from 2000 to 225? I don't, I don't want to, I'd like to know what the last 5 years
Last 5 years have been?
versus,
We should be able to ask for that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice. And I guess you're gonna replace the heating system and dig out those tanks.
Yes.
2 options, dig them up or fill them.
Oh, you gotta
I don't think we can fill them.
Probably not.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
dig
think-
them out and whatever fuel is contaminated, that's
Oh, yeah.
has to be hauled off. But anyways, you know all about that stuff. So if those tanks are removed, it might be a good time to think about moving the propane tank to a better location than the edge of the playground. Since you have to rewire the propane tank for the
Yes.
boiler, and you
Yep.
have to do electricity or whatever, maybe it might be a good time to relocate that, especially if you pull up the tanks, maybe it'd be better over closer to,
Where those tanks are located. Yeah. Then the ground has to be dug up, you're right, for pipelines and stuff. Yep. It's gonna have to be anyway.
yeah, but that propane tank should really be moved. So you mentioned the school budget. What is the student count per town?
I asked Carl Landry that very question,
Yeah,
And-
he's a superintendent. He should know the answer, right?
and he did not have an answer.
Oh, that's surprising.
Because his answer was that some kids live with their parents in Parsons Field and at other times live with their parents in Hiram. So they don't get an accurate count. I have heard that if you go to maine.gov to education or the education department, might have a better chance of finding how many students are from Parsons Field.
Did they break down the transportation costs between getting the kids to school and back, and then the extra buses that do the late buses? Did they break it down this year?
Not the late buses, I don't think, as much as the buses that take the kids to the special ed programs that are located on the coast. So there was a big
There's
cost.
still no real idea on the breakdown of the transportation system.
I have the budget. I can probably dig that up for you.
Okay, it's just mentioned school, so I just brought that up.
Yep.
And one thing I've noticed, you're in this room. Is this the new select board meeting room?
We expected a bigger crowd, knowing that we were going to discuss the completeness of some of the
Oh,
applications.
okay, because the last time you did it was actually very good in this room. The audio was really good. So it'd be nice to have a meeting room. This is more, I don't know, comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the planning board wanted it set up this way as opposed to how it was before with the tables towards that bulletin board. So, yeah.
Okay, and the other thing is that you have the meetings in the select board room. Your broadcasting is coming out in mono, not stereo. So if you hook up a set of headphones to your laptop so you don't disturb anybody in the room, you only get one half of the sound. I've researched the other towns and their meetings and stuff, and they're all in stereo or stereophonic, whatever you want to call it. So you can hear both ears.
I'll check the settings on Thursday before we turn it on.
Yeah. Are you missing anything?
Headphones, just plug them right into your laptop,
Yeah.
but
You're not missing anything though when you,
it's kind of annoying just to hear it in one ear instead of two ears, you know? But anyways, I mean, all the other towns, I don't know, you got something wrong, I guess.
we can look at it and see if there.
Yeah, I don't-
That
I
might
don't-
be something that we just need. to
There are
press
so
a
many
button.
settings
Yeah.
when you set it up, so I don't
Yeah.
know. I'll take a look.
I think it should, yeah, probably a PA, just,
But what about in here?
I believe it's fine here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, all the other towns, everybody's put on a set headphones, you get a sound up both ears. But the select board is just getting out of one ear, you know?
Yeah.
So it doesn't get.
That's the first,
over
that's
one
the
ear
first
and
I've heard of
over
it.
the other.
Yeah. Plug it up.
You got me with that one.
Okay, I do have a longer list, I didn't bring it. I did look at the website, and there's a few things that probably need to be added.
Yeah, email me. I can make any updates, so,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, if you want to, if you've got it like typed up, send it to me and I'll,
I did try to click on the Facebook thing, it said, you know, the little after
Yeah.
Facebook is, still says not available on the icon.
Is that like a live link to get to this meeting if you were going to listen to
Well,
it?
it mentions it on the website, you know, live link, you know, select blah, 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 you know, Facebook. So I saw the little Facebook symbol, I click on that and it said not available. And I know how to get onto the Facebook meetings.
Yeah.
Just go Facebook, Parsons Field, you know,
so like if you were looking at last week's meeting,
I'm looking at just the symbol itself, when you click it on the open page, it doesn't open up. You can eventually get it, once when you get on Facebook, yeah, you can watch the meetings, but there's no easy click to get onto the select board meetings from the website. Unless you really know how to do it, but, you know I have to go on Facebook, but it should be just a quick link.
I don't see any link here. Like if you go into under agendas and minutes and then what are you under?
well, like he's talking about clicking like down the bottom left, there's a Facebook logo
Yep,
right there.
yep.
So if you click that, it's weird that it's showing up not available because I just clicked on it just to see and it takes me right to their Facebook thing.
Yeah, like I said, I got a big long list, unfortunately.
That's all right. Yeah,
So
yeah. Brings up the site.
good. But there's our meeting. I just clicked on it and I got to our meeting.
on the little symbol.
Yep.
On the main page.
Yeah.
the Little F.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, what did you say earlier?
Yeah, that's what I clicked. You click on the little, you're talking, all right, so
Now click out.
you're talking this one down here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I click on that, it brings me to the
Oh,
Facebook
yeah,
page.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mine said currently unavailable.
Huh.
Maybe it's because the meeting wasn't going on, I don't know.
No, because that should take you right to
Yeah.
the, no matter what, it should take you to our
Maybe-
Facebook page.
Maybe he should hit the refresh button as sometimes like what I had to do.
I'll, yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, just worked for me.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll take the loss.
But no, please send me, I want to get it right, so.
Yeah, well, I do a lot of comparison with other towns and what they do.
Yep.
And some of our stuff is not there, like SAD 55 stuff, like the public library is not on the website.
Yep.
Yes, it is now, but it wasn't at one point.
Okay,
I
yeah,
kind of thought that our library should be on the website,
absolutely.
because they do have a website.
Yep.
The search option is there that you've wanted for years.
Which one?
You search for a word on the top and you can get all the minutes.
Yes, I like the old one, the old planning board, the old planning board thing where you could agenda, minutes.
Well, you've always asked for a search.
So going forward, it will be that way. So going forward, if you go into meetings, you'll be able to see, it'll have agenda, minutes, packets, and the link to the video will all be for that date. It's the historical ones that are not lined up that way. But anything going forward will be that way.
Yeah, the historical stuff's all different
Yeah, it's,
dates when they got put in.
yeah, it's,
I did see Baldwin is a link on the website though. That's good.
yeah, there's, on the online links there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, finally happened.
Well, then that's another benefit of this new website is it tells us when there's a broken link. And it tells us, so like it'll automatically, like if I put a link in
Yeah.
and it goes nowhere. So right now Facebook's deleting videos after 30 days.
Right.
So if I haven't updated it to the YouTube link,
Yeah.
it'll tell me this link is now broken. It goes nowhere. And that works for any link on our website. And then, yeah, that's part of the ADA compliance piece of it.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty handy because state changes websites and things like that all the time. And they obviously aren't going to they don't know who's linking to it. So,
Right.
yeah. Yeah, when we created the website, there were 9 broken links from our old website that just went nowhere.
Right.
Yep.
Well, when you get home tonight, slap on the meeting and listen to it on your headphones.
Only one ear though. Yeah. Well, the workshop will be this one. Yeah, that's
Good, then you can
interesting.
hear ambient noise, right? It's
Yeah,
like-
I'll have to.
Yep.
I'll have to see.
I only did it because I didn't want to disturb anybody, so
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm only getting out of one ear. And I checked all the, it's just.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's just a simple setting over there. I'll take.
Stereo jack, probably doesn't have a stereo jack.
Might not.
It should with the setup in there.
Could be just a button.
Should.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah, I'll play with it on Thursday and mess it all up.
looks like we're ready to sign off.
Are you good? Are you good? Anything else? Anybody?
No?
She was anticipating it.
It's the tail end, so just sitting there.
Well, welcome back.
Yeah. Thank you for your service.
Appreciate it.
I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Thanks, everybody.